Under the reign of the Taliban, Afghans had very little access to newspapers, TV channels and radio stations. 10 years on, the media industry has improved greatly, with lots of choice for consumers. However, those delivering the news are still facing certain difficulties.
Journalists are confronted with a lot of problems in Afghanistan. Although in the past 10 years we have enjoyed freedom of expression for the first time in this country, and many media organisations have been established. But they are still faced with lots of problems. The first problem is security in Afghanistan, and this country is one of the most unsecure places for journalists. The security for journalists' work is very important. We have many private news organisations in Afghanistan, and security for journalists is not mentioned in any of this country's laws.
However, press freedom is threatened by the continuing war in Afghanistan, with kidnappings and death threats toward journalists. But the media has increasingly developed over the past few years. The history of Afghanistan's media began with the first newspaper called Surajul Akhbar, which was published on January 11, 1906 in Dari. Things have certainly moved on since then, with hundreds of publications now available. But there is still a lot of work to be done.
Only last year we have almost 58 incidents. It means violence incidents on journalists, on Afghan journalists. So this is, a thing that Afghan journalists cannot prepare independently their reports, especially in the southern provinces.
In spite of these problems, there's still plenty of choice. Nowadays in Afghanistan, radio stations, TV channels and telephone companies have great competition in their respective markets. The people we spoke to on the streets of Kabul seemed pleased with the choice and objectivity of the media.
TV medias and medias in Afghanistan, we can say that nowadays and from past 4 or 5 years there is lots of development in the media sector.
بسیار خوش هستم که هر گپی که میشه ما بسیار زود یعنی به وقت کم خبر میشیم از طریق رسانه‌ها. چی خبر خوش باشه خدای نخواسته که خبر بعدم باشه، هر کمش باشه ما بسیار زود خبر میشیم.
رسانه خودی رسانه ملک افغانستان که خلق دار دغنا خبری.
A free press is always a good barometer of how free and liberal a country is. There's no doubt that journalists in Afghanistan feel there could be greater freedom still. But just the fact that an event such as Press Freedom Day can be celebrated at all is surely a sign of progress here. This is Said Mansoor reporting for the NATO channel in Kabul.